Good morning, tubers. The RC Universe. Welcome to RC Helicheck UK at a very wet and miserable windy day here at the club. It goes from one extreme to the other. The last video it was icy cold, it was foggy. Today it is windy and raining. Anywho, we are now at hopefully the final part and part 5 of the Bal 230. That shows how windy it is. The gates just slammed shut. Yes, we're on the final stages of the Bal 230. As you know, we've got all the colour schemes sorted out on it. We've got the lights fitted, the retracts fitted. It is just a case of buttoning it all up and finally getting it finished. We've got to test fly the mechanics. Nope, that ain't gonna happen. But we'll see. The way they may pick up later on, I doubt it. But let's crack on, guys. Right, we've got a lot of stuff to do here, guys. We've got all the windows to fit. We've got to fit these on with epoxy, sort out the back end where I need to put some plywood in so that this can be screwed on after mechanics are fitted. We've got to put the plywood in the top and bottom here for the tail cone as well, so that can be secured in place by screws. We've got to fit the windows, do the magnets on the windows on this side here and on the other side, like I said, so I can get to the battery. And then once all that is done, it is literally getting the mechanics all tested and flown. I may end up test flying the whole model without the mechanics, because that's a reliable helicopter, to be fair. I've flown that before. I know the fly-bailer system that I use. As long as I get it all set up and how it should be, then there's no reason I can't actually test fly the helicopter in the fuselage. But we'll see how it goes, what the weathers are doing and all that later on. Got to do the burns on the exhaust to get the shine down on those, and basically just crack on. We've got a lot to do, guys. Hopefully we can get it all done in this video. Like I say, I don't know how long it's going to be, but we'll see what happens, shall we? Let's get on with it. Right, guys, there's all 16 of my, yes, 16, 8 for each side, window latches, magnets, and these basically are shaped like a little teardrop, and they go on the corners of the windows, and then the magnets on the windows will be on the corners and they will stick to these. Basically these go down here and on the edge, and then the magnet will go dink and stick to the side of it, although that needs to be moved because it is blocking where that has got to go, unless I can go below it. But yeah, I can go below it. So yeah, I'm going to get all these all epoxied on now on both sides, then epoxy the magnets onto these and plot them in place and let them set in positions where they've got to go. That way then I know that once the glue is set, the magnets are automatically where they should be. Get it? So yeah, anyway, let's get that done. Back in a bit. While I'm waiting for those magnets to go off on the windows, guys, I just thought I'd put the lights on, and boy do they shine really bright. They're going to be highly visible. I might be able to fly this helicopter at night at this rate, but yeah, looking damn cool. They are really bright. And see what I mean about like looking at it from the side as well, you can still see the light on top with those domes. Can't see the nose wheel, although the nose wheel is on, it's retracted obviously, so that'll be on constantly pointing up at the nose, but when it comes down it'll make it more visible obviously when it comes down. But yeah, they look awesome. Well guys, hour and a half later and the idea worked. Looks unsightly on the inside, but once it's all painted black like I'm going to do, you're not going to see them. And I should paint these bits black as well. But as you can see, he says looking like a twat. There you go. They work perfectly, and they need a good whack to take them off. But they are well stuck on. They are not going to come off while the helicopter's flying. No way. No way. That one there's a little bit loose, loosey goosey. That's because the magnets come off the bleeding window. What a knob job. Look, come off. It's there. You're not supposed to be there, you little twat. Anyway, I'll get that fixed back on. But yeah, works. Magnets, windows, battery, connect, click, click, whee. Happy days. There we go guys, finally got the hatch on the back, holding by 3 screws, one ha, and one ha, and the tower cone as well at the back with 1 screw ha and another one underneath. So that's all now fitting and ready to go. I think, to be honest with you, the only thing we've got left to do now, mechanics. Let's go and have a look, see what the weather's doing. Still windy as hell and chucking it down with rain. Well, not chucking it down, but it's spitting with rain. So, not good. Not good at all. Hey ho. Always the way. I'm going to go ahead and set up the mechanics again anyway. Whether or not I test fly them or just whack them in the model. What do you reckon, guys? I mean, I know the mechanics fly. I've flown them before. And normally, like when I set the the beast X up, I should say, it usually flies straight off the ground. So the blades are all balanced, all pre-done and all that kind of thing. So I think it's just a case of setting it all up, making sure everything's going the right way. Then I think we just whack it straight into the fuselage. Toy. Don't know what to do. I'm going to set the mechanics up either way. But do I risk setting them up, assuming that it's going to fly, and just mount the mechanics into here? I still need to make the battery trays where the batteries are going to sit as well. But I can't do that until the mechanics are in. Dilemma. Don't know what to do. I'll decide when I've set them up. We'll just see what happens once we've set them up. Well, we ain't going to be flying it today, guys. Not even going to be able to test the mechanics, which I've now set up, ready to go. We just have to go wait and see what the weather does tomorrow. It's supposed to be a little bit warmer tomorrow. Whether or not it is, different story. Even if it is, it doesn't mean to say it's not going to be windy still. As you know, I suffer really bad with wind. So we'll see what happens, and then maybe tomorrow we can test fly the mechanics, and then once they're done we can fit them into the heli and we're ready to go. Oh well, never mind. Good morning, gang. It is the second day of the Bell 230 build, part 5. And as you can do, as you see, as every day, when it starts a new day, we always have a look at the weather conditions and how much more different is it compared to yesterday. Yesterday it was grey, overcast, murky, blowing a howling wind and chucking it down with rain. Today we've got a lot of blue sky about, sun's hazy, but it's out. We've got a little bit of a breeze, but nothing too bad. The temperature is substantially increased. We're now looking at about 9 degrees up here at the moment, instead of the old minus, whatever it has been the last few days. But it's not raining, so we should be able to get the mechanics test flown and then get them fitted into the Bell 230 fuselage and get it all finally buttoned up, ready to fly. So let's get on with it. Well, we've got the mechanics there all ready to go. Just got to put the main blades back on, and then there is the fuselage sat waiting for its bones to be fitted over the skin. So we'll get the blades put on the Bell 230. Don't know whether I'm going to take you out there while I'm flying. I may do, may just leave it on the tripod and up and down, but let's see. Right guys, I have a dilemma. I have just test blew the mechanics, okay, and basically it flew, not a problem, stable as anything with a fly-by system, everything's perfect. However, the elevator servos failed on me. I don't know why, and I'm not sure what it is that's done it, but basically it skips a beat. It's like there's gears missing from it, and these are old Spektrum servos and you can't get the gears for love nor money. So if I'm going to do this, I might as well go whole hog. What I'm thinking of doing is replacing these servos with GDWs, which are a lot more reliable, they're new, they're better. Replacing them with GDWs, including the tail rotor servo. Replacing the electronic speed controller, which to be fair isn't the best. It's an aircraft ESC and it hasn't got a governor. With a 120 amp Hobbywing ESC, but running it on just 6S instead of 8. Change the motor, change the pinion gear as well, and fly it on 6S. I've got a Spektrum 700 that flies on 6S, and with the higher head speeds I get 5 minutes out of it easily. I'm wondering whether to change all this to a 6S setup. I'll lose the Beck, I won't need that because this is an Octo, whereas the Hobbywing one's got built-in Beck, so I'll lose that in weight. I'll only have one 6S battery instead of two 4S heavy duties, which are quite heavy, and the motor is a 960 kV 8-pole motor, so I think I'll have enough power on 6S to lift the airframe and have the fuselage on it as well on 6S. If I don't do this, that elevator servo is going to fail in flight and the helicopters are going to come crashing down like a twat. This ESC doesn't have a governor. Well, it does, but it's not. It doesn't seem to be working because the helicopter's bogging down even without the fuselage on. And I need an ESC that's reliable with a governor on it. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Yes, it's going to delay this aircraft being finished, but I'd sooner have more reliable equipment in, test fly it with the more reliable equipment in, and what I can do then is weigh the fuselage, add the weight to the bottom with whatever it needs to basically change, to make the helicopter like it's got the fuselage on, and try and fly again and see what it does. Because if it lifts off the ground with that weight and it flies around with that weight on, which I'm sure it will, I'm going 6S on this. Stuff it, that's what I'm going to do. Right guys, this is my Spektrum 700 that I fly on 6S. I have just weighed this helicopter, okay, and it comes out at 2.8 kilos. That's without the battery on, without the blades on, right? I've just weighed the Trex 700, which is going into the Bow 230, and that only weighs 2.6 kilos. It's 200 grams less in weight than the Spektrum. So if this flies as easily as it does on 6S, then that Trex 700 will fly easier on 6S, with being the lighter model. Also, even with that strap to it, it'll still fly, it'll still get it off the deck on 6S. Right, a lot of you are probably saying, why don't I just put the Spektrum in there? Because that means I'd have to redesign all the interior on this, and not only that, the tail rotor blade on the Spektrum's on the right hand side, and there's no way that I can rotate it and put it on the left like what is on the Trex down there. So I'm just going to change all the equipment out of that and change it into a 6S setup. Right guys, Assault 700 size motor. It's basically a rip-off of the Align 700 motor, but it's still just as good. Turnigy 120 amp Opto 12S ESC, brilliant for aircraft, not so good for helicopters, governors a bit. Spektrum servos, nothing wrong with them at all, awesome servos. This one is stripped its gear though. It's still okay, but every now and again it skips, and then this goes loose, which is not a good thing. So the gears are gone on that, and I can't find any replacement gears. So, upgrade. Instead of keeping that, I don't like moving just like the one servo. I wouldn't just take the one out and replace it with a completely different servo. So I'm replacing all three, and we're going with these GDW high voltage servos on the Cyclic. I'm going to keep the tail rotor on because there's nothing wrong with the tail rotor, which just means I've got this one spare. Oh, nearly dropped it. And then Hobbywing ESC Platinum Pro 120 6S ESC, fan cooled, which is going to be great, keeps it cold. Just only need the one battery. 6S 5200 milliamp I've got, I'm going to be using. And we've got the Align Dominator BL 730 MX 960 kV motor, which when you look at it, not a lot of difference in size, if anything, at all. They're both the same size motors. The only difference is the kV. That's 530, this one is 960, but this has got more than enough packed punch to fly on 6S. So I think this motor with that ESC on 6S will be enough to get this helicopter and that skin up in the air. I just got to hope that the pinion, mount and shaft is the same size, because if not, I'm going to have to use this motor on 6S. It'll work, but it won't be as good, shall we say. So anyway, let's get it all sorted. Right, bow and arse. The Align Dominator motor is in, and the pinion is sitting nice and is the right size shaft. So we have rotation, that's great, that is. Right, I'm going to put the ESC and make sure the motor is spinning around the right way. I'm going to change these arms as well, because the ones that are on this, they're a little bit loose and I'd like them to be a little bit tight. So I'll get that sorted in a bit, but I need to get the old servos, the Spektrum servos. They're not old, they're still good servos. Need to get the Spektrum servos off, get the GDWs in. Good afternoon, gang. It is day 3 of part 5, I think, or day 2. But we've got a storm twat going over us at the moment. We got, oh man alive, we got 40 to 50 mile an hour gust of winds up here at the moment. It is horrendous. It's put pay to me doing the Maiden on the Trex 700 mechanics, purely and simply because it's too windy to fly them. So I've opted to go straight into the fuselage and just do it that way, test fly it in the fuselage. Not something I would normally do, but I'm pretty certain about these fly-by-wire systems that I use and the mechanics as well. I know it flies. This, I'll show you what I've done, because I've changed all the stuff in there. Oh my lord, open the door without it ripping out my hand. Yeah, so Nick's in here, he's working on his T-ROM at the moment. But I've changed everything over. Like I said, I was going to GDW servos in there, and they feel so much better already. Got the Align 960 kV motor in, usual micro beast, sorry, Beast X, and I've got a Platinum 120 V4 ESC on 6S. But like I say, you just heard the wind out there, it's nuts. So I'm opting to put the mechanics into the fuselage, because I need to get on with this model. And I'm going to test fly in the fuselage, see anything I can do. So I'll get these mechanics put in, and then we'll go from there. Well gang, we've had a dramatic change of affairs, should we say. It is the next day and I got up here early this morning-ish, if you want to call 9 o'clock early, and it was flat calm. And yesterday, if you recall, it was blowing an absolute hoolie. It was really windy up here, really windy. We were looking like 40, 50 mile an hour gusts of wind. So I wasn't able to test fly the mechanics, so I basically went to the process of putting the mechanics into the fuselage and I was going to test fly that way. However, I went through the whole process off camera of putting the mechanics in, and when I did so, connected the retracts up to the flybarless system, bang, both servos on the main retracts just fried. So I had to take the mechanics back out again, which was the last thing that I did yesterday, and today was basically a case of coming up here, fitting the new retract servos, which are high voltage metal gear digital servos, which I've changed them for, which will cope with a higher current of voltage. But also, at the time when I got up here, it was calm, there was no wind, it wasn't raining, and I was able to actually go out and test fly the mechanics, which I did off camera. I just needed to get them set up quick and go out, and it flies fine, and it's really dialed in with the new GDW servos, the 6S setup with the Platinum Pro 120 amp ESC and the governor. It all works fine. The only issue that I had was the battery tray that I made to get the centre of gravity was a little bit wobbly, and it caused the tail to wobble. So just to stop that, I literally wedged a 1/2 inch thick piece of balsa wood in between the battery and the frame to stop it from wobbling, off again, and it was steady as a rock. So at the moment I'm currently changing the servos over on the retracts for the new ones. I've changed the nose wheel already, I'm doing the side ones at the moment. Once that's done, then I can take the undercarriage back off the skids, back off the mechanics, take the blades out and fit the mechanics back in. So that is basically what I'm doing at the moment. The weather has turned turtle, as predicted. It is starting to rain. It's been raining pretty much for the last 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, this is all now dialed in and ready to go. Like I say, there's a couple of things I'm going to do. I've got a better swash plate here that I'm going to swap over. It's not going to affect the length of the rods or anything. It's just literally a straight swap over. It's a better swash plate than the one that's already on there. I'm also going to change, I've bought some more ball links with me, some linkages, because on a couple of these on the servos they're quite a loose fit and they're a little bit too loose for my liking, and I'm worried that they may pop off. And if they pop off, we know what that'll happen, disaster. So I'm going to swap all those over. I'll do it all off camera, and the next time will be when I'm installing the mechanics back into the fuselage. I will do that on a time-lapsey mode, and hopefully this time it'll work.
Do we need a second chance?
Well, that was a bit of a ball ache, guys. Finally got the mechanics back in, and all the retracts are now working, he says, but we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, it's all back in, and I've got the high voltage digital servos now fitted on the nose and on the rear undercarriage, main undercarriage, and and it's so just got to pray and hope to the Lords that it now works this way in here, because this is what was causing the problem. So, but we'll see. Right, back in a sec. Excuse me. Right, guys, got, looks like its guts hanging out. I've had to wire the 2 rear retract servos and the front nose wheel on 2 separate channels. Now that means that all of the channels now on the Beast X are used. I've got the mains on auxiliary 2 and the front nose wheel on auxiliary 3. However, as you can see, they are pretty quick when it comes to coming up and down. So I'm going into my transmitter and selecting the speed of the servos, because obviously they're servo operated retracts, so I can slow them down. So if you go into, on the NX10, if you go into the servo setup and scroll across the speed, you go down to auxiliary 2, normal, 1, 2, 3, let's go 4 seconds. There we go, so that's 4 seconds to come down. So now go to the opposite side, go 4 seconds again, select, so that should go up. There you go. They go up nice and slowly and come down nice and slowly. The mains now over to auxiliary Trex, increase that to 4. That should come down slowly now. There we go. I don't know if you can see the front nose wheel, should be able to. And then on the opposite side, on the up, 3, 4 seconds. Oh no, that's 5. No, that, no, 4. There we go. Right, so come out of that, back to the main screen. Now on my switch, when I retract both, go up nice and slowly, unlock, and then down, come down nice and slow. That's a lot more scale like. Now the only downside to this is because I've used all the channels up, I've got nowhere to put my lights, so I need to use a Y lead to connect my lights to either channel 1, 2, 3 or 4, or possibly auxiliary 2 or 3. So I need to figure that out now to get my lights all working. So, but we are getting there. Timers are cracking on. It is dark outside, so I'm going to have to go into a 4th day for part 5, I think it is, to finish this all off. I need to tidy the wiring up as well and get that all nice and tidily placed. But yeah, actually I've got a free cable there because this is a tri lead, so I might be able to put the lights into this one here, which is the one that was for the nose wheel. But because for some reason when I connected all 3 up, the 2 mains would work, but I'd get no power going to this one. I thought it might have been the lead, so I swapped the servos over into the different leads, and again I was getting like the 2 mains working but the nose wheel wasn't. So it's nothing wrong with the lead that I've made up, but for some reason it won't work all 3 together, but it will happily work the 2 mains on auxiliary 3, like I say, 2 sorry, and auxiliary 1 mixed with auxiliary 2. I've managed to get the nose wheel working, so they're all working as they should. but like I say, it means I've lost the channel now for my lights. But I'm going to see if I can get power from this, and if I've got power from this, I might be able to use this to run the lights from on the separate pack. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back. Hopefully it'll be done. Right, I've connected the lead going to the main light pack to that spare lead that I had on there. So yes, there we go. We have light. We have light. We should have a green light on that side as well. I can't see it, but hopefully you can. I like my white light at the bottom has disappeared up the helicopter's arse, so I need to grab out of that if I can. And then we've got the light on the front of the nose wheel as well. So we have lights, we have retracts, we have horn. Right, see what it's like in the dark. Oh man, how cool is that? That is awesome. I do like that. I do like that a lot. That looks epic. What do you reckon, guys? Those are pretty damn powerful lights, but they're not expensive lights either. I can't see. I can't see. There we go. They're not expensive lights. They are GT Power 3 watt lights that run on a 3S Lipo. I've got them on a 3S 800 milliamp battery. Don't know how long they'll last. If they don't last that long, then I'll have to run them from something like a 2200. I'm using an Octo 3500 milliamp to power up the helicopter at the moment, but that is not the flight pack. I will actually be using a 5200 Lipo that weighs 793 grams, so that should give me my seat of gut. The thing left to do now is I have got to basically tidy up all this wire and figure out how I'm going to hold, or should I say place the battery. I might be able to, I'm looking at this gap down here in this tray, I might be able to make a Velcro tray for it to sit on, or I may just do a tray at the side of the helicopter between the mechanics and the side of the fuselage, I should say, and have it there. But again, it's all critical on the centre of gravity, so I'll get all that all sorted, get it all wired in, get it all buttoned up, put the front on. I can then fit the windows, fit the doghouse back on, and we will have one helicopter. But that is going to be tomorrow, guys, because it is getting pretty late, it's pretty dark. I do not want to get abducted by aliens and left on the side of the road like Galactic Roadkill. So, and my phone's ringing now as well. So I'll be back in the morning, guys. Morning, gang. It is day 6000 and whatever on part 5. It is the next day. After getting the lights and the retracts all working, I gave up yesterday and went home as the time was getting on. And it is the next day, like I say, and hopefully we're going to be able to get this model finished. Got a load of spaghetti in here that I need to tidy up from the lights and the retracts. I've got to fit the fin on the back of the helicopter as well. I've also got to make the boom strike rod that goes at the back of the helicopter as well. That won't take long. And then it's just a matter of where to position the batteries and to get the centre of gravity sorted out, and she's ready to go. So hopefully we'll get it finished. The weather outside is not looking too promising, as per usual, being the UK. It is pretty windy out there, so whether or not I'll get to Maiden this, I do not know. Yeah, I may get to hover it. It all depends on what the weather's doing. It is forecast rain again today as well, so we'll just have to get the finished model done. We'll get the model finished and done, and then we'll just have to see what the weather's doing afterwards and see if we can go and fly it. Right, I didn't know whether or not I'd need to do this, guys, but I couldn't tell until I finished it. But I didn't know whether I needed a screw at the front of the doghouse here. Didn't know whether there'd be a lip. It turns out there is. So I need to put a screw in the front. Oh, that's gone. Bye. Yeah, turns out I needed to put a screw in the front of the doghouse as well, just to pull the lip down, because it's creating a little bit of a lip, and I don't obviously want that to be the case. So I've just drilled a small hole literally at the front of the doghouse, which goes down into the frame of the windows, and that, as I am now doing, pulls that frame down. Perfect. So job's a good one. Right, there it is there, guys. As you can see, it was creating a lip that was about 1/8 of an inch high, 3mm high. So I've had to do one more screw at the front, which goes down into this frame here, which pulls this down. So that's all good. I'm gonna now fit the main windows, but these are just going to be stuck on with you. So that way then, if I need to take the mechanics out at all, which I highly doubt, then these will just come off, like I said, without any difficulty, because U-Pour is quite a sticky glue. That fits in nice. I didn't know whether that would overlap the top of the window, but it doesn't. It runs parallel with it, so that's good. And then same with that one. Yeah, see, that's a good fit as well. So it runs parallel with the window. Excuse me. How it runs parallel with the top of the doghouse, and it's actually flush. That's not so bad. That's good. I'm happy with that. This one isn't that tight. I mean, I could lift it up a little bit. Yeah, no, actually, no, it is. I just haven't got it positioned right because I am a knob. But right, let's get these windows put in, and then we're nearly finito. Nearly finito. There we go, guys. In nice. In nice. Once they've been polished up and nice and shiny again. But yeah, we are around about 99% complete. Just got one more thing left to do, and that is to put the tail striker on the back of the tail. So let's get on with that, and then she's done. She is finished. There we have it, guys. Finally, after 5 videos and near on 55 hours of work, the Balti 30 is finally finished, and I ain't gonna lie guys, I love it. Colour scheme looks awesome. The lights work really well. They're a little bit temperamental. I think there's sort of like something wrong with the plugs that go into the actual control board, because when I initially plugged them in and turned them on, nothing happened, and then I literally touched one of the wires by the control board and they just came on. So I've got a feeling they're going to be intermittent, and they may need to be looked into a bit further later on. But for now, look at that. I mean, wow. 6S Trex 700 mechanics. We have got a 900 kV, 960 kV aligned dominator motor, Beast X, sorry, fly-baler system. We have a Hobbywing 120 amp Pro 6S electronic speed controller. The retracts came with the kit. The fuselage is actually an old Graupner Heim fuselage from mid-90s, I believe it was, something like that. It came with the retracts themselves. Servo operated retracts, which take a bit of working, but finally got there. And the all-up weight of this model with the battery in is 5.5 kilos, 5,500 grams. It's heavy, but I am optimistic, and I believe that even at this weight it will hopefully still fly on 6S. Only time will tell. The weather outside, I'm not sure what it's like at the moment, but let's just go and have a look. It's a little bit overcast, a little bit of a breeze. I did look at the weather forecast for today, and it did say that the wind was going to be calming down a little bit, and it isn't gusting as much as it was before. It's probably gusting around about 15-20 mile an hour. So I think we're going to be good to go. I think we're going to be good to go. We'll have a few final checks and make sure everything is all sound, and then we'll go for it. Okay guys, here we go. Whoa, bit chilly. I've got the old Capulator 4000 on, as you can see. Whew. I've got my sunglasses on because they have a little bit of protection from the side of the wind. I've also got my hoodie up. Right, because of the weight, I'm going to start it off at idle up 1 instead of normal. Whew. God, that is nice. Big bird. Do a quick once over. LEDs are really cool. They really are cool. Right, rudder, left stick, right slider. Right stick, left slider. That's good. Rates all off. Oh, I've got rates on the rudder. Don't want that, not yet. That's better. Right, and then aileron, left, right, forward, backwards. Okay, pitch 0 degrees. Here we go guys. Contact. No vibration so far, that's good. Take cover. Looks like the wind is starting to feather the tail. Okay, come on girl, you can do it. We're getting light. Oh yes. Oh my lord. Look at that. The blades light. Traction's out a little bit on the blades. Quick gyro. no tail wag, not like we had on the mechanics when I tested the mechanics. Don't go too far, girl. Don't go too far. Not used to you yet. Gear up. Look at those lights. You can definitely feel the weight being 5.5 kilos and only on 6S. Power response is good as well. Just going to take it gingerly with her today, guys. I'm not going to go nuts with her. This is my first time flying this big helicopter. She is big, she is heavy, so bear with me. But look at that. How stable is that? I always say the bigger they are, the more stable they are. And that is definitely the case with this. How cool is that? You can see the lights reflecting off the main rotor head. Governor is working okay. No vibration at all. Loving it. Absolutely loving it. All that time and effort, guys, it's paid off. Okay, wheels down. All 3 wheels. Hope I'm getting this in the shot. I think I might need to tweak the rates a little bit. I'm not going to do it now. Right, one of my concerns is the undercarriage. Is it going to fold down under the weight of the helicopter? Come on, go. Nice and steady. Yes! Yes! Wow! Wow! That was awesome! That was awesome! Am I a little bit excited? I'd say. Wow! That was epic. That was absolutely epic. I love it. I love this model. The windows held in with the magnets. I was a little bit concerned that the airflow from the rotor head was going to blow the windows out, but no, they've all stayed in place. Everything is spot on. Absolutely incredible machine. Absolutely incredible. I love it. Wow, there you go, guys. There you go. Well, there we have it, guys. Another successful build and maiden of an old helicopter fuselage that was meant to be for basically for IC power, and I was able to convert it into a electric model, as you saw, and it successfully flew. This is a heavy plane, 5.5 kilos like I said, but it is running on 6S. I think the normal head speed that I got set, which I didn't fly on, I flew on idle up 1, I think would have been too low. I think that speed that I just flew at is about right. But epic, absolutely epic. It looks great in the air. The nav lights are highly visible. But yeah, so T-Rex 700E mechanics with a BL MX BL 960 kV Align motor, running on a 6S 5200 milliamp Lipo battery, with a Hobbywing 120 amp V4 Pro ESC, GDW servos all around with an Align tail rotor servo. Awesome, absolutely awesome. I am stoked. I was a little bit apprehensive that she was going to fly because of the weight of her, but as you can see, she went, and she is stable as a rock. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this series of videos, guys, and the time that I've put into this, and enjoyed watching me build this model. Click the old like and subscribe button and the ding dong for more stuff like this. Epic. Thank you for your support. Like I said in the last video, I have recently just hit 500 subscribers, and that's all down to you guys, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate your support so much, really do. And we will see you on the next video, guys. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you soon.